Okay guys, I am super excited today. I cannot wait for this. I've been accumulating all these parts here for a little while now, ready to do this build, and I've built everything from tiny whoops through to 6 inches, and this is going to be my 5-inch build. Again, this is going to be my new 5-inch daily driver, hopefully. It's the Armattan Badger. This is the DJI version. I got this because I've been checking out their frames for a while now, and they've got a lifetime warranty. So if you break an arm, then you can just get it replaced. Can't really ask more than that. Thick carbon, titanium, premium frames, and I can't wait. I could only get the 6-inch version, but I could buy these 5-inch arms, so I could just swap those straight out, and then at any point if I want to have a 6-inch I can change it and have it as a 6-inch. But yeah, I'm going to put crossfire on as always, a little nano there. Everything I got here I got from either Drone Authority or Hobby RC or Unmanned Tech, except as always all my TPU parts I got those from Lee at 3D Aqua. He's got his own website and he's also deals on eBay, so check him out. I'll leave a link in the description for you to go and find him. He'll sort out any of your needs like he does me, except for these little quad catchers that go on the bottom of the motors. I got those from Banggood, just to keep the crap out of the motors. Then I got these skins from stickitskins.com. This is some premium decals going on here. They could have just printed a whole sheet and cut it out, but they didn't. These have been printed specifically to the shape and then cut out with a plotter cutter. And they're thick, shiny, tough, look like real hard wearing decals. No expense seems to have expired making those. It did take an age to get here. They took the longest, but looking at this, it was worth the wait. I've got some LEDs, might do a separate video for that. Then I got the caddx micro edition air unit. So this is one with a different camera in it. Since caddx took over, the air unit's just the same, it's just got a different camera, although I'm not sure it's not the same guts inside the camera, but you can check out the review of that on my channel and side by side. Then I've done the mamba. That's what I've gone for here, is a mamba F722 stack. This is again the DJI edition, so you can just plug the DJI unit straight in. Now I've never used the mambas before. They look super quality. I've seen good reviews on them, so I thought I'd give it a go. This is just a little 20x20 stack. I thought it'd be a lighter weight one to use. I wouldn't normally use a 20x20, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay, but won't know until we get that in the air, but hopefully it was a good choice. Then we've got the Armattan Tower premium motors, and they are premium. They are some bling motors going on here. Again, I've never used these. I've never used any of this. Even the caddx air unit is my first time having that. But these motors are bling bling. They feel nice. They look like a set of rims, and they spinning. So hopefully, hopefully they're going to have been a good choice. I know they're going to look good, but I guess flying is a completely different story. So yeah. Got everything we need. Everything looks top quality. Really happy. Quite excited. So I think we'll get straight on and get this puppy built. I'm over the moon with that so far. Look forward to the rest of it. Quality frame. It's a little beast. I can tell you, the first time I crash it and put a scratch on it even, I'm going to be gutted because it just looks so whoa, just beautiful little piece of engineering. Really nice. Really nice. So there we are. There's our Armattan Badger DJI edition. A few parts. Fun. Chucked on. Quality. Absolutely quality. Okay, so we've done a little dry fit just to see how it's all going to sort of fit together. It looks pretty neat. I'm pretty pleased with how it's going to come together. So I'm going to disassemble this partly now, and we will get stuck in. Okay, so you can see here that I used the bracket that comes with the kit, the Mamba kit, and basically it turns the M3 hole into an M2. So it's like a mounting kit plate. You can see it's got a directional arrow here, so that shows you which way it's supposed to be mounted. Now, the first thing that I want to do is to connect our power now. The kit comes with this capacitor, and I bought a F-Tech spike absorber as well. So I think because I bought the spike absorber, I'm going to stick with the small capacitor. I did get, I often prefer to use a 1000 microfarad, but because I've got this spike absorber, I'm going to go for that. And then look to slot it through like this. I think we'll have the cable come from here, and then that's gonna stick up through the plate here. And what I think I want to do is I love that little heat shield there. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. Like, you're not even going to see that. You're not even going to see that, and it's got that detail on it. And I'm a carpenter joiner, and I really appreciate just detail and quality. Nice job. So what I want to do is I want this to come from here, and then I'm going to zip tie it here, and then that's going to pop up through. That's the sort of plan. And if I get one of the upstands, it's going to be close. It's just doable. And what I would like is, instead of this being on the end, I think actually looking at that, that's going to go, so it's got to go like that, like that, and then up. So what I would like is this to be down here. That's what I'm thinking. So I think we'll solder that first. Okay. Now I'm just going to put a bit of sticky back foam in there. Just for my own peace of mind that it's not metal against the circuit board. And I'll be putting a bit of heat shrink around that.
Okay. Okay, so we can see a nice solid joint in there. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. We're surge protected. So now we need to join it to the board. Okay, so I had to extend the wires there a bit. Unfortunately they weren't quite long enough for the amount of play that we needed to make this all work. I might have put too much in now, but let's see how that goes. Okay, so it's doable either way, like that. I either come like this and it comes out the side, which I'm tempted. Well, I know it works, so that's cool. Next we're on to the motors. Now, I've left them slightly longer like that because I might change them if I need to switch the motors over rather than putting them for a program. I prefer just to do it manually, so we'll leave that like that for the second. So there's our motors done, and I've left them so I can change this wire to this wire. I've left everything long enough. If I need to swap it around, rather than putting in beer hurley and changing it around, I can just change it around like that, do it manually. So we've gone, as always, crossfire. I really wish they wouldn't glue this on with silicone. Okay, so this is our RX, TX, 5 volt and ground. So remembering that it's opposites. So our RX goes to our TX, our TX goes to our RX. So now we need to kind of start to get some kind of a semblance going on the back section with the DJI and the crossfire. Now I moulded this little bit of plastic. I just got my heat gun and just stretched it in. So now we've got to look at, I'm going to take a chance that when I turn this on, the crossfire is going to go into bind. That's what usually happens, and so I'm going to hope that that's what happens this time, because it's going to be tucked in there now. Now this is going to be a little bit fiddly. Okay, so in the bottom here I've got a slight recess, and I really want the wires to stay tight in that from the air unit. So I'm just going to tape that taut like that. Okay, so it's that tight that I should have. Actually run this through first. Wasn't expecting it to be quite this tight. So this I need to pass through there first. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to check it out. I've created a file, a model on my Radio Master. So we're going to plug it in and hope it's all okay and bind. So update the micro RX, yes, do that please. So now that transmitter is updating my new crossfire nano in the bottom there, so luckily, like I thought, where it's brand new, it goes straight into the bind, so I don't need to get in there and press the bind button. Yay. Okay, so that's all bound. So now I'm going to put that into Betaflight and set up my switches and modes in Betaflight. Okay, so after we put that all together and I sent it out, it had a gyro issue and literally dove itself into the ground. Luckily this is an amazing frames and I had the bumper supports on, so it didn't hurt the frame, but what it did do was knacker one of the motors, which was really devastating, because nowhere had a replacement motor, not Armattan themselves, none of the suppliers I bought them off originally. It seems like nowhere in the world had an Armattan motor, and I really liked those motors. So I went for a new set of the Xing 2s. This is the 2306 1755 kV. Really also lovely motors, not quite as bling as the Armattan, and don't have the same colour coding, which was nice on the Armattans, to match the rest of the quad. But I have to say, these are superb. Really, really nice motors, and at the price as well, I'm pretty stoked. They're cheaper than the Armattans, and very smooth. So that was the first thing, and then obviously because of that, I've had to change the flight controller and ESC, because I just wanted to go back to what I knew and what I liked, and what I like is the iflight sussex-d twin G. So let's have a little look at that and what I did there. Right, so now we've got top off, you can see the 30x30 stack here sitting slightly further forward than the Mamba was. The Mamba being a 20x20, it's sat back here and the mountain holes here. So this sitting further forward is good for weight distribution, but it also gives us this space here to be able to put the stopper board, the spike stopper and the cap in between. It was a bit tight, but I got it in there. Also it means that the XT60 is coming out the side here. Shorter cable, which is nice, so less resistance on the current going through. I did like it coming out the front here. I think that was nice, and it was more protected, but with the zip tie there, it's still kept away from the prop. The motor cables, I've got the protectors here for if a prop has a problem and doesn't cut through the wire, then into the heat shrink, and then unlike with the 20x20, there was just no space to do it, I was able to put the motor wires round like this in between the two boards and then solder them to the solder points. Now doing that means that if the motor got ripped off or the arm got snapped, that this going round this upstand here bolt and then being fixed here, we had a bit of play and it was like an extra life, meaning that we might not tear off a pad. because that can happen, and then your ESC, certainly with these 4-in-1 ESCs, they're so buggered, and it's not a cheap ESC. I got these two from Drone Authority, so it's the sussex-d f7 Twin G version 2.2 with Betaflight 4.24, and then a beastie 60 amp ESC 2-6S version 2.1 with BL Heli 32 on there. Now they are more expensive, but they're superb. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Mamba. I got the Mamba because I wanted to try something new, and it was 20x20, so I thought maybe it'd be a bit lightweight. But really, I think the lightweight side of it was a bit foolish, because this whole quad is quite a chunk. Some people wouldn't put a 20x20 in a 5-inch build. I wanted to try it, and now obviously I had a dodgy gyro. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the stack. That doesn't mean it wouldn't have worked. I do run the 20x20 version of this, the Mini, in a couple of builds. One of them is my 5-inch invisible drone, the 360 drone, and it works great in that. But I'm not ripping it. That's more cinematic flying than it is like this, which is, you know, my shredder. But overall, I'm really pleased with this. I've used this stack before. I used it in a 6-inch build. This is the Tyro 119, and I built this because it was just, I wanted to build something cheap that I didn't mind damaging, and it actually turned out to be spectacular. So this has got the same flight stack and in there, the same controller and the ESC, the DJI Air unit, the same DJI camera. I used the original Xing 2207 1700 kVs on it, and then with these bumpers and the thickness of the arms here and everything being so together, small space, it's a quality little ripper at 6-inch. Really strong, smooth because of the 6-inch propellers. Really happy with that. So sticking with what I know, going back to it again on this one now, and I just wish I'd done it from the start. It would have been cheaper all round, rather than replacing all of that, the motors and the flight controller and ESC. So let's get the top back on that and have a last look before we take it out. So there we are, back together, ready to take it out. I'm really pleased with this. All my 3D parts again from Lee from 3D Acra, give it a nice lot of protection. I'm going to probably get some bumpers done, although this is good. I do think these sort of bumpers just give you fearlessness, really, of not damaging everything. So I'm probably going to get him to make me some of those. And I've bought an Umagod pad to go on the top here for a bit more grip on my battery. But yeah, stunning solid feeling 5-inch. So let's take it out, let's have a little rip and see what we think.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the fucking hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and fuck all the doubters, they're just fucking downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm pissed off at these fucking clowns who are all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Banging, total ripper. Over the moon with it. Over the moon. It could do with maybe a bit of a fine tune. I took the tuning off of an iflight model that used the same flight controller as this, another 5-inch. But so a little bit of playing about to do to get it 100% perfect. But I'm really pleased with how I've got it at the moment. The Sussex-d twin gyro flight controller, as I already knew, it's the 2.2 version. It's flying beautifully. The 60 amp ESC handling that power nicely. Really, really pleased. Getting a bit of voltage sag because it's 777 grams with the GMB 1000 milliamp. So it's not light. It's quite heavy, but I've got lots of extras on here. We are running the full-size GoPro. I have got a crap load of TPU all over it. I did get the TPU ends made to protect the bells of these superb Xing 2s. I mean, for a budget motor, they are, you know, I know they're not their budget range, but they're cheap. Really, these Xing 2s for what you're getting are really cheap, and they're smooth and pokey. Really happy with those. But with these TPU parts, I can plow it into the ground, I can hit a wall, and my bells are safe. And the ends of my arms, even though obviously this has got lifetime warranty and I can replace an arm, I don't want to smash anything if I can help it. So we're covering TPU parts, we're running the full-size GoPro, we're running the full-size air unit with the full-size air unit camera, TPU parts for the antennas. I could, you know, it's covered. So I could reduce the weight, I could lose the battery in the GoPro and run the balance lead power lead. That's one way. I could go to the naked GoPro and shed a ton of weight. We could get rid of the TPU parts. I could go to the caddx air unit instead, and a lighter weight camera. So there's things I can do that I can dance around with when I want to shed some weight, which I probably will do in the future. But right now I want it so it can take me hurting it, and that's really what I want. And you know, you can see from the video, it's not that it can't pull off all the moves, because it can. It's just the fact that you get some voltage sag. This GMB battery is 120C with 240C max output short burst. So I could get 130C, but that's, you know, you're not going much further without going into some obscurity of battery. Obviously there are better batteries than this. These are, you know, these are budget friendly ones just for me to destroy. But all in all, I am over the moon with this. I'm sorry that the build was a bit bitty because I had to change flight controllers after having the gyro issue with the initial, and then obviously they ended up discontinuing those Armattan Toa motors, which was a real downer because they were pretty sweet. But if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have tried out these Xing 2s, and I'm glad that I did, because they are, as I say, they are really good motors. So there you go, guys. I hope it was informative, or at least entertaining, if nothing else. Check out the parts. There'll be links in the description for the different bits and pieces. But happy flying. As always, hit that like, and even better, hit that subscribe. I'll leave you with a few pics. Cheers guys.